You know, something really big is happening in mental health care, kind of behind the scenes. We're starting to move past just asking, so what are your symptoms? And instead, we're asking a much deeper question. What's really going on inside your brain? Today, we're going to dive into what this huge shift actually means for the future of treatment. So, have you ever felt like finding the right mental health treatment is, well, just a whole lot of trial and error? You're definitely not alone. It can feel like a guessing game, right? Well, the reason why it's often a guessing game is exactly what we're going to unpack today, and we'll get a glimpse of what a more precise, more scientific future could look like.
Okay, so the heart of the issue? It's what you might call the symptom dilemma. For a long time, the whole field has been built on diagnosing and treating only what you can see on the surface, the things people can describe.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. The old way, right? It's all about what a patient feels, sadness, anxiety. And what happens is you get all these very different people all lumped together under one big label, like depression. And that, of course, is what makes treatment feel like a guessing game. But the new way? It asks a totally different question. Why do you feel that way? It's digging deeper, looking for the root cause, say a specific brain circuit that isn't working quite right. The goal is to build a unique biological profile for each person and then target the treatment right at the real underlying problem.
So, if the old way has its limits, what does the new way look like? Well, it all starts with a big, global vision, sort of an aspirational roadmap for the entire field.
It's called the Precision Psychiatry Roadmap, or PPR. And listen, this isn't just some small adjustment. We're talking about the grand plan to basically rebuild the foundations of psychiatry from the ground up, moving away from those symptom checklists and toward a new model that's grounded in the actual biology of our brains.
And the mission, at its core, is right here, to redefine these conditions not as a list of feelings, but as identifiable dysfunctions in neural circuits and biological systems. I mean, just that one phrase, that's a massive shift in thinking.
Okay, but a grand vision is one thing. How do you actually make it a reality for doctors and patients, like today? Well, that's where a really practical, hands-on framework comes into play. It's called Clinical Brain Profiling, or CBP, and this is key. If the PPR is the dream for the future, CBP is the tool that's making it happen right now. It's a real framework already being used in clinics that actually maps out a patient's unique brain mechanisms to create a truly personalized profile.
You can think of CBP as the bridge, really. It takes all this amazing but super complex neuroscience research and translates it into something practical a doctor can actually use. It's what makes all that science actionable in the clinic.
All right, so what does this profiling actually measure? How does a doctor go about creating this unique map of someone's brain? So CBP zooms in on these really core brain functions, things that are absolutely fundamental to our mental state. We're talking about threat responsivity, how your brain handles fear and stress, or reward modulation, which is all about motivation and pleasure. It also looks at cognitive control for focus and decision-making and emotional regulation. It's like a full diagnostic checkup, but for your brain's most important operating systems.
And the whole process is actually pretty straightforward, broken down into 3 steps. First, you assess. You gather all sorts of data, biological, behavioral, even digital stuff. Then you integrate. All that info gets combined into one single unified profile of that person's brain. And finally, the best part, you plan. You create a treatment plan that is tailor-made to fix the specific neural issues that were found. See? No more guesswork.
So we have the grand vision, that's the PPR, and we have the practical tool, that's CBP. Now let's connect the dots and see exactly how this tool is delivering on the promise of that vision.
This table just lays it out so clearly. You see the synergy, right? For every big goal of the Precision Psychiatry Roadmap, CBP has a direct answer. The roadmap says, hey, we need to integrate new biomarkers. Well, CBP is built to be compatible with that. The roadmap says, we gotta bridge science and practice. Boom, CBP is that bridge. It's the actionable tool that turns the research into reality.
And this is the most crucial point of all. Clinical brain profiling isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's not just an idea for the future of psychiatry. It's a real, deployable model that's making all this happen for patients today.
Which, it leaves you with a really fascinating thought. As this whole approach gets more and more common, could getting a detailed profile of your brain one day be as totally normal and routine as, say, getting a blood test at your annual checkup?
It's something to think about for sure.